What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and we're going to take a look at the top 5 instant impact newcomers for LSU for the upcoming 2023 college football season. Now, their most recent transfers, Andre Sam, Logan Diggs, both of those guys, you could definitely make an argument for those being the top 5 players that they've added. But as far as instant impact and making a difference for this team, really neither one of them made this list for me, because I think the safety position's already in pretty good shape for LSU, and I know the running back position's in good shape. So yes, those guys are definitely big-time players. They're going to help this team, but I'm looking more at the impact players that are going to help out where maybe LSU has a need. And we will start at number 5 with Zai Alexander. Played at the FCS level last year at Southeastern Louisiana, had 27 tackles, 3 interceptions, broke up 4 passes. He was first team all-conference, has experience, a guy that I think can definitely boost this secondary. And the cornerback position is an area where they needed to add some players. The safety position, I said, I think they're in pretty good shape there, but definitely needed some help at cornerback. I don't know for sure that he starts. We'll see how that plays out in fall camp, but I definitely think he's going to make an impact, adding depth and helping out at that cornerback spot. Number 4, Aaron Anderson, transfer from Alabama. Didn't play last year at Alabama, but he was the number 49 player in the 2023 recruiting class, the number 5 wide receiver according to 24/7 Sports. They've got great receivers already. They're in good shape at wide receiver, but he adds a little bit of a different element when you look at the receivers that they have. Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, Kyron Lacey. You're talking about guys, bigger receivers, guys that are going to be your number 1, number 2 guy, but they really, I felt like, needed a slot guy, and I think Aaron Anderson definitely fits that perfectly for this team. Very athletic, very quick, can do a lot after he makes the catch. Just a big-time athlete, not as big as some of these other receivers for LSU, but I think he's going to fit really well into this offense, giving them that slot guy. So I think Aaron Anderson will definitely make an impact with this wide receiver group and help out this passing game. Number 3, how about Denver Harris, transfer from Texas A&M. Didn't play a whole lot last year, just 5 games, had 14 tackles, broke up 3 passes. He was the number 45 player in the 2022 class, number 7 cornerback. This is a guy with a big upside, a chance to be a really, really good player, a guy that can play on Sundays. Again, I don't know how that cornerback competition is going to go, who's going to wind up starting, but I think you're going to see a number of guys rotate and play at that position, and Denver Harris definitely is a guy that is going to fit in that conversation for sure. And again, his upside is up there, probably going to be the most talented cornerback on this roster. And so again, by the time you get halfway through the season, he could be potentially a superstar for this LSU secondary. And again, I think he's going to make a big impact. Number 2, Ovie Ogwumike, an edge rusher, we'll call him. I think they're saying he's going to play the jack position. So kind of a hybrid edge rusher, linebacker, defensive end, linebacker, whatever. Had 53 tackles last year, 7.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks. Broke up 3 passes, had a forced fumble in there as well. This is a veteran guy. I mean, he's played at Notre Dame, then he played at Texas, and now he's back with Brian Kelly, this time at LSU, and he's going to really help them out, because that is an area of need for them, or it was an area of need for them when you're just talking about pass rushers, because they lost some really talented guys from last year's team. Ali Gay gone, BJ Ojulari gone. Those were 2 really, really good pass rushers. So this is a guy that can step in there and hopefully fill that role and be probably their top pass rusher. I know Harold Perkins is there, who he can kind of do everything. Probably going to technically be their best pass rusher from the linebacker spot. But again, this is a guy that is definitely going to make an impact and a much needed position for this LSU team. Now let's go to number 1. I think that's Omar Spates, transfer from Oregon State, linebacker, had 83 tackles last season, 8 tackles for loss, broke up a pass as well. He was first team all Pac-12, 4-year starter there at Oregon State, a guy that is just really, really experienced and is just going to be a veteran leader for this defense. I think this was much, much needed. You needed someone at that linebacker spot. Yes, Harold Perkins is there, but they didn't really have much as far as being that veteran guy, that tackling machine, if you will, middle linebacker type player. I think Omar Spates fits that perfectly. I think it's a big pickup, and I think he's going to make a really big impact on this defense. You know, last year, you see the stats here, had 83 tackles. He could do that at LSU for sure, maybe even have more tackles than that. We'll see how everything plays out. But this is a big-time pickup. It's a guy that I think is going to make a huge impact, and all 5 of these players I think are going to make big impacts. And again, you go back to Andre Sam, you go back to Logan Diggs, you got several freshmen that will make some impact. There are a lot of newcomers on this LSU team that potentially could take them to the next level in 2023.